The first thing they noticed wasn't my face, it wasn't my skin, it wasn't even the fact that I clearly didn't belong in that glass conference room overlooking downtown. It was my backpack, old canvas, one strap, half frayed, the kind of thing people silently judge before they ever bother to learn your name. And the moment I stepped inside Harrison and Cole Law, I could feel the room decide who I was in about 2 seconds flat. Conversations didn't stop, they just dipped like someone turning the volume down but not all the way off. Eyes sliding over me, pausing, lingering, measuring, and yeah, I've felt that look my whole life. You know what I mean? That look that says you're an interruption, not an invited guest. Someone laughed under their breath, someone else whispered, and then a man leaned back in his chair, like the place was built around him, and said, "Hey, sweetheart, I think you're in the wrong room. This is a private reading." I remember nodding and saying calm as I could manage, I know, I was invited. And that's when the smiles changed, because to them, that wasn't confidence, it was audacity. And people like that hate audacity when it doesn't come in the right packaging. I walked toward the only empty chair, and that's when Evan stuck his leg out, not aggressively, not dramatically, just enough, and my foot caught. My backpack slid off my shoulder and hit the floor with this heavy metallic thump that didn't match the bag at all. He laughed, really laughed like it was the highlight of his afternoon, and dropped his empty espresso cup at my feet. "Since you're already down there, be a doll and toss that and grab me a water while you're at it cold." Yeah, that happened. I picked up my backpack, dusted it off, set it beside my chair, and didn't touch the cup. Inside, something twisted. Not anger, exactly. More like that old familiar ache of realizing you're about to be tested again. How much disrespect you can swallow without choking. Around the table sat the Harrison family, polished, expensive, bored people who inherited power the way other people inherit furniture. And to them, I wasn't a person, I was a mistake someone forgot to erase. Someone muttered something about the service elevator. A woman lifted her phone and angled it down toward my scuffed sneakers against the marble floor, probably already composing a caption. And I sat there with my hands folded, staring at reflections of faces that had never bothered to learn my name, thinking how funny it was that they thought I was lost when I was exactly where I was supposed to be. The door opened, and the room straightened like it had been caught slouching Mr. Lawrence Cole walked in, gray hair, wire-frame glasses, the kind of quiet authority you don't question because it's earned, and he didn't look at Evan. Didn't greet the others, just walked straight to me and said, "Ms. Carter, thank you for coming." Heads snapped up, chairs shifted. Evan frowned like someone had changed the rules without telling him. "Hold on," he said, laughing awkwardly. "You know her?" Mr. Cole adjusted his glasses and said, "Of course I do." Then gestured to the seat at the head of the table. "Please." I hesitated for half a second because years of conditioning don't disappear instantly. Then I stood and took the seat, and you could feel the air get tight. Evan shook his head. "This is ridiculous. Who is she?" Mr. Cole looked at him, then really looked and said, "You should know. Your father employed her mother for nearly 6 years, cleaning your offices, bringing you coffee. You never learned her name." Silence settled, heavy, uncomfortable. Naomi worked nights, studied days, graduated top of her class in corporate law on a full merit scholarship. While your family denied her mother health coverage after an injury, Naomi covered the bills. While you mismanaged accounts, she noticed. While you dismissed her as background, I trained her. Someone scoffed, someone else laughed nervously, and I kept my eyes forward because if I looked at them, I might see something I wasn't ready for. I thought about sleeping in my car between classes, about interviews, where they smiled politely and said they'd call about mopping floors after midnight, while listening to recorded lectures through one earbud about sitting on the office floor after hours, while Mr. Cole explained balance sheets like they were puzzles instead of weapons. I hadn't come there hoping for mercy, I'd come prepared. The lights dimmed and a screen flickered on an older man's face, filled it tired but sharp-eyed, unmistakably in charge. "If you're watching this," he said, "then I'm gone." A murmur rippled through the room. "I imagine you're eager to hear what you're getting, but first, answer me this. What's the name of the woman who cleaned this office for years?" No one spoke. "Exactly," he said, softly. "Now tell me her daughter's name." Silence stretched until it felt like pressure in my ears. "Naomi Carter," he said. "She was the only one who ever asked how I was doing, the only one who noticed the numbers didn't add up, the only one who treated this company like something worth protecting." The screen switched to security footage, raised voices. Evan spilling coffee deliberately, my mother limping as she cleaned it up, and phones started buzzing. Someone dropped theirs, faces drained of color. I felt calm, strangely. Calm, not triumphant, not vengeful, just clear. I watched how you treated people, the man continued, and I planned accordingly. Evan stood up, face flushed. This is insane. She manipulated you. I spoke then finally. No, I said quietly, and the room snapped toward me. You ignored him. I listened. Mr. Cole unfolded the will, his voice steady, precise. I hereby transfer controlling interest 51% in all primary assets to Naomi Carter. The room cracked open. Gasps, disbelief. Someone laughed like it had to be a joke. Evan's face went pale, effective immediately. Mr. Cole continued. All current family executives are removed, access revoked. Someone swore someone else started crying. A stipend will be provided, he added, conditional upon completion of community service hours supervised by Ms. Carter's mother. I stood, reached into my backpack one last time and pulled out a tailored blazer, slipped it on, and it wasn't a transformation so much as a reveal. I looked at Evan, who couldn't meet my eyes, picked up his empty espresso cup from the table and set it in front of him. Trash pickups at 6, I said evenly. Don't be late. Security appeared, guiding them out, still arguing, still stunned, and I sat at the head of the table alone and exhaled. Not because I'd won, but because for the first time the room matched who I'd always been. Outside, the city kept moving, unaware that something quiet and permanent had shifted. And that's the part people miss. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like patience preparation in a backpack no one bothered to open. If you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, judged before you spoke, you know this story isn't really about money. It's about who gets to decide your worth. So let me ask you, was this justice or revenge? Were they punished fairly or not enough? And what would you have done in my place? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what you've seen, and if this hit close to home, like and subscribe, because stories like this don't end when the room empties, they echo.